Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for coming. I'm Jack Sprague, and it's my honor to serve as president of Bristol Community College, and we have exciting news today that we just can't wait to tell you about. It's something that's long been a dream of Bristol Community College and New Bedford Public Schools and the mayor. Mayor Scott Lang has been a driving force for this new initiative. And we're looking, we have in mind something that I've never had out of my mind since we got here, and that is that the levels of literacy and the levels of educational attainment. Both of those levels for the whole region are not very good. And I've said many times I take those levels, the low levels, personally. I take that situation personally. It's our job in higher education and throughout the world of education to fix those two levels for our region. If we're going to move forward with economic development and the workforce development that we must do to keep the region thriving. So this is another important step, and that is the announcement of a middle college for New Bedford in conjunction with the New Bedford Public Schools. And we are very anxious to get this started with Bristol Community College and, of course, the support of people in the community, not the least of which the mayor. We're very happy about this. We have hopes to start it very soon, perhaps next week. And we've just received word that it would be approved by the New Bedford School Committee, and we're very appreciative of that vote. It was a unanimous vote to endorse this. The Board of Trustees at the Bristol Community College have endorsed the project. So it has the weight of authority, if you will, as we move forward. And you'll be hearing a little bit later from the superintendent as well. So we're very excited about this. It's a way to bring back into the fold, if you will, students who for one reason or another have dropped out of K through 12, dropped out of high school. And we hope that we can recover them. In the meantime, we hope that this project will serve as a launching pad for other initiatives in which we can move forward with dropout prevention. The students, if those would be students who are already in school on the verge of leaving, and we have to kind of motivate them and get them going. And the superintendent and I will be working together with the very wonderful people that are working at Bristol and in the public schools to make that happen. Right now, we're focusing on students who have already left, and we're trying to recover them. So we have dropout recovery and dropout prevention as two key priorities for us. I'm very excited about this. You're going to hear more of the details about it, but I did want to mention the financial support from Mr. Gerald Kavanaugh and Higher Education Partners. That firm is moving forward, as always, supporting educational initiatives in New Bedford. Also, the Rockefeller Foundation might well be coming forward with some money to help with this project because of the importance of it. And it's very good that we can attract that kind of, that kind of attention and that kind of support. The superintendent might also be talking about some of this other support that she will be able to arrange, as much as Bristol Community College will be doing the same. So it's my honor now to introduce to you a real driving force, someone most of you know, and you not only know him, but know of his inspirational leadership for all matters education. He's been wonderful moving forward, working with Bristol Community College, and of course the close relationship with the public schools. Mayor Scott Lang has been, as I say, a driving force. And in this particular initiative, he has really been the force to keep us moving and keep us on track. We only really had the school committee vote a few weeks ago, and here we are ready to start up within another week or so, and that is largely attributable to Mayor Scott Lang and his passion for education. You've heard him talk about MCAS and how he feels about MCAS and what we can do to help rectify that situation for New Bedford. So my honor to introduce Mayor Scott Lang.
Thank you. Thank you. First, this is a collaboration of an awful lot of individuals, and I want to thank them all. I'm going to name just a few, but I know behind the scenes there's been an awful lot of work on this, and this has come about over the last few years. This is not just something that we thought about for a day or two and then launched. We've been working on this for quite a while to figure out how to resolve some of these issues regarding educational attainment, dropout, non-graduate completers, and adults who seek to go back to school and trying to lend a helping hand. Now, I want to recognize just a few people who work with me every day on educational issues that really have made a tremendous difference for the city. First, our superintendent, Dr. Francis. You're going to hear her speak, but she has burning the midnight oil is not accurate because we will all get texts from her at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. She is highly engaged day in, day out in our kids' lives and our families' lives here in the city. And then I want to recognize 2 school committee members who are here today. I know that Dr. Fletcher is here today, who serves with me on the school committee, and I think I urge all citizens to watch the school committee meetings on Channel 17 on the New Bedford Cable Network. I think they're very informative and also will keep you in touch with your local school. And then Dr. Larry Finnerty, who's here, who is also an outstanding member of the school committee, and also both of these gentlemen are lifelong educators, so it gives us a tremendous advantage. We have hands-on school committee members, which helps greatly when we deal with any issue. Now, I want to say a few things about BCC. I've been working with BCC now for 6 years straight, and they never cease to amaze me as far as setting a goal, reaching it, and then moving ahead. Whether it's the New Bedford campus, which when I first came in and was given a briefing on it, we talked about 600 students. They're now up, I believe, close to 2,000 students. They work extremely hard at opening up the doors for higher education for citizens, and that's something that is extremely important for our future growth, for our future stability as a city. The other thing that I want to mention is that when we had a problem with the demand for medical education and nursing, BCC and Jerry Kavanaugh forged an alliance, a partnership that is now envied and copied around the state, which provided for a hybrid between private and public education, still very affordable, but was able to increase the number of people who could get medical education by somewhere in the vicinity of 80 students to about 400 students when it reaches capacity. And that's something that's very important for our quality of life. It's extremely important for the citizens of this city to be able to get involved in the high-tech 21st century programs in an affordable manner, expert instruction, and move on to a great career. Some of the individuals who graduated with certificates in, say, a CNA or a phlebotomist will end up being nurse practitioners or doctors one day. Some of the people who ended up being med lab technicians will end up being great researchers. Some people who do medical documentation will end up figuring out a way to reform Medicaid, Medicare in our healthcare system. So it is very exciting to have the #1 medical college here in the city as far as all ancillary support services, and it's something that I think helps our entire Commonwealth. So I want to thank Jerry and Princeton Review for coming in, working with BCC, and then we got tremendous support from the delegation going up to Boston and convincing the Board of Higher Education that this is a great model for our students. So we really appreciate their leadership in those areas. I also want to compliment them. I know that they are always looking for ways to increase BCC's visibility is the only way to put it throughout the state. And they teamed when Senator Menard became available last year. They teamed with her and have given a tremendous amount of energy, not only to BCC, but also to community colleges throughout the state, and that's been very helpful as well. You can't go anywhere up the State House without someone indicating that BCC has been there just before you to talk about similar issues. So we're very I think, grateful that they have had the vision to push education. Now, what about this program, very quickly, and then I'll leave the details up to the remaining speakers. High school degree is a key to getting into society. Without a high school degree, you are known as a dropout. A dropout is a word that's being used. It's highly negative connotations. We have seen the reports, the most conservative reports say that a dropout costs society over the course of their lives $300,000 per individual, plus their family members. Now let's think about this. Who is society? When they talk about society, it is this amorphous type of concept, but the fact of the matter is it means every single person who is out there every day, who has a responsibility to pay their taxes, whether they're a dropout, whether they've got a PhD. We all end up seeing our tax dollars go to something that really does not make sense, which is supporting an individual who is not able to reach the educational attainment that they can, that they want to, the potential that will benefit society. So the answer to this, I think, is not sitting and accepting the idea that, well, there are people who won't graduate from high school and it's just going to cost us a lot of money in the future. The answer is to make sure that we commit the dollars early on in the individual's life, when we still have a very, very strong opportunity to have them become high school graduates, to have them go into college, to have them go into the highest levels of skill training type of programs where they'll be productive members of society. And this money that we allocate now from the standpoint of supporting people with lower educational attainment or people who have not earned a high school degree can be used for tremendous, tremendous causes and programs. The number one cause and program is educating a citizenry, and this is what we've committed to doing. This program is designed to address students from 16 years old to 21 who no longer, for whatever reason, are finding high school to be the appropriate environment or the appropriate challenge, and hence they are going to become dropouts, which is a terrible toll on society, but more importantly, a terrible toll on them as individuals. This will give them a program to continue their education and do it in a way where they'll get the best educational opportunity, plus they'll be able to see the forest over the individual tree. They'll get an overview as to where they're going and how they can achieve it, and that's something that's very important. In addition, this will allow the non-graduating completer, the individuals who have done everything to earn a high school degree that a young person in a private or parochial school has done, but for the fact that they haven't passed the public school requirement of an MCAS test, either in English, in math, or in science, or soon to becoming history. If they have not passed those tests but have earned all other credits, this will allow them a program where they will be able to either tackle those particular tests in a successful way and or apply for appeals based on further educational attainment. There's no reason many of these young people who haven't passed the MCAS can walk into BCC, walk into any college in the state and do extremely well. This will be a vehicle that they are able to do that and demonstrate that. And then lastly, the other component of this that is extremely important is the adult population. The adult population that now goes to frequents the night school. The night school is a fantastic program. We have tremendous success. New Bedford's night school program is one of the best in the state. But the fact of the matter is it costs individuals who want to earn a high school diploma approximately $110 a credit, which if you are on a very, very fixed income, if you're in a situation where obviously you're trying to support a family, you maybe have little ones, or you may have reached a point now where you're literally trying to support your kids to go to higher education. It's extremely important to be able to pay for your own education. This program will allow adults to attend free night school, and that's something that's extremely exciting. We know that they have tremendous success. We want to make sure that we have the available institution for them. Coming to Middle College at BCC will give them every advantage that they have at the night school, but also will allow them to matriculate in a college curriculum as well. So we're extremely excited about this program. We think this program will tie in directly with our WIB board, with our Career Center. We'll tie in directly with the public school system. We'll tie in directly with UMass Dartmouth, UMass System, as well as Bridgewater State and all the other private institutions we have. High-skilled trade institutions, this is the perfect complement. This is a vehicle that will bring people to the high school degree and above, and that's why we really support this program. Last, I want to thank two other individuals. I thank Jerry Kavanaugh, but the higher education partners are putting real money behind this program. We appreciate that. That's one of our private benefactors here, and we really appreciate it. And then the other one is the J.B. Fernandez Memorial Trust, which is administered by the Rockefeller Foundation. They, too, have stepped forward and indicated that they believe this is a model that they want to support. So I want to thank again our partners, and I look forward to this first group of students today. I think what we're looking for is letting the public know that we're ready to roll, and we want students to come in droves and begin registering. If you don't get in this semester, we'll be rolling out another semester. This is going to be a nimble program, a flexible program, the kind of program designed to see people succeed, to see people accommodate individuals and their lifestyles and see them succeed. The other person that I want to recognize before I give the mic back to Dr. Sprague is Marlene Pollack, a school committee member, also an educator. Again, I said that the luxury that the New Bedford school system has is everyone on that school system has had experience in education. Marlene actually is a professor here at BCC. So I want to welcome her and turn the mic back over to Dr. Sprague.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I told you how passionate he was, right? It's wonderful. And you know, as the titular head of the community, I also, you know, appreciate Mayor Lang's support, but it also shows that there are other members of the community here. He mentioned the members of the school committee who were able to come, but we have members from the Workforce Investment Board, the Career Center, all here. We have someone from the representatives from the Sheriff's Office and Second Chance, and a number of community activities that will benefit, we hope, from putting the students through these pathways. They're pathways to success. And of course, UMass and other higher educational institutions, baccalaureate granting institutions, may well be the beneficiary too. So we're very happy about all the various possibilities in this. This is going to be a pilot project to begin with, but then, of course, we hope it will burgeon. And it's my honor now to introduce, speaking of the community, someone from the New Bedford community who has stepped forward time and time again at various levels, whether it's youth recreation or K through 12 pre-K through 12 activities, BCC, UMass Dartmouth. He's been wonderful. Anytime you say we need some help in this education project, you can count on Jerry Kavanaugh to be there. So it's an honor to introduce to you from Higher Education Partners, Jerry Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Mayor. A couple of years ago, we came into downtown New Bedford and invested about $3 million to build a new facility, and for Allied Health at the corner of Purchase and William Street. And what was interesting with that investment is that it was an investment not in, you know, a building really. It was really an investment in all kinds of different people in this community. And it was an investment. It was an investment in Jack and BCC. It was an investment in the mayor and the city. So I just want to thank, as we embark on this second venture, I just want to thank everybody who was involved in that first venture, because it's been very successful for the community, and we could not have done it without Dr. Fletcher and Marlene and Larry, and of course we couldn't have done it without Terry and all of her people at BCC, and we could not have done it without the mayor. It never would have happened. Now the proof of that project, though, has been not just the results and the performance of the venture, which has resulted in, you know, several hundred students now being able to take allied health courses and get an associate's degree. And we hope that we'll have 600 or 700 students in the next couple of years. The proof of that, one of the proofs of that has been that now we have colleges and colleagues of Jack's and colleagues of Terry coming from all over the country to see it and to do it and to try to replicate it. And, you know, last Friday we had a handful of administrators from a community college in Cincinnati who want to do the same exact program in downtown Cincinnati, Ohio. 2 weeks from now, we'll have another group from Pittsburgh, and they will be coming to see what Jack and Terry have done so that they can do it in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we're really excited about the fact that not only have we been successful here, but it has already turned into a national model for other community colleges, all striving to do the same types of thing. And so when we sat down to talk about trying to solve the financial issues surrounding the middle college program, this is a really easy investment decision. We were actually delighted to be asked to provide the first $125,000 to get this off the ground, because we knew we were going to be partnering with solid, substantial people who were going to make sure that this was successful. And so we could not be any more delighted to be a part of this, and I can't thank everybody enough for allowing us to be a part of this community. As most people know, I love to help out in downtown New Bedford and the New Bedford Public Schools, and I hope that we can continue to do this for a long time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry. We're very grateful for all that you do. I'm going to depart from the script just a little bit because I want to invite Professor Marlene Pollack on the school committee to speak. We're going to hear from Dr. Fletcher and maybe Dr. Finnerty later, but Marlene has a history professor at BCC, and she has a class that she has to get to, and I didn't want her to miss an opportunity to say a few words.
Well, it's great to be here. I know this has been a dream of Dean Romanovich's for a long time, and I've always been very excited about it. So to see it come to fruition, both in both my different hats as a professor of history at BCC and also as a school committee member, I think there is a real need for this program. I know some of the students that are signing up, and they felt really that they had no way to go. As the mayor said, they could not afford the night school fees, and so to be able to call some of these kids up and say, hey, you can do this, it was like a dream come true. So I'm very grateful for everyone who put this together, and I know it'll be successful. Thank you. Gotta go.
Professor Pollack has to get back to class, but thank you, Marlene. Yeah. And now it's my honor to introduce to you another driving force in this project, without whose support we just simply could not have gone forward. And I'm very grateful for the partnership that we have with New Bedford Public Schools. And Dr. Francis has been a driving force for us, and a collaborative, cooperative partner, making sure that we were able to overcome any challenges that we face as we put this wonderful project together. So I'd like to invite Superintendent Dr. Mary Louise Francis to come to the
Thank you very much, President Sprague. We're really delighted for this opportunity, dropout prevention and keeping kids in school and looking at alternative ways to think outside the box and to really get the job done. That's what we've been all about. This is a wonderful effort to kind of collaborate internally in New Bedford with our Race to the Top initiatives. And Race to the Top, amongst other things, is all about keeping kids in school, the sort of career life direction, college and career readiness kind of thing. So within that opportunity and that funding that we have dropout prevention specialists, graduation coaches, and so forth. And all of those folks, in collaboration with Mr. Kulak at New Bedford High School and other staff people there, are going to in turn work with Bristol Community College, and I couldn't be more thrilled about this. I have to tell you, this is something that certainly has been challenging to put together, and is something that I think is really, really going to fill a niche. As President Sprague was saying, we certainly have students who, for a variety of reasons, have not been able to kind of stay on that track. We have students who have dropped out who come back to our adult education programs, but as the mayor had said, they have to pay for those, and sometimes that is something that's kind of daunting and is something that's you know, a block for students to come back. So the program is really about, this Middle College program is about bringing students back so that they're on a high school diploma track simultaneous to being on a college track, which is a marvelous and innovative way to look at things. So there's been a lot of hard work. We certainly are very, very grateful for Dean Romanovich's intervention here, and again, driving force. We thank Jerry Kavanaugh, as always, for the resources, because resourcing these kinds of programs is always an issue. How do you sort of get that going? How do you get the momentum going and so forth? So this has really been just a wonderful collaboration amongst all of the partners, and we really couldn't be more thrilled about it. And in New Bedford, we have a Where Are You Headed campaign. So what we'd like to say is, when we ask the newly recruited students, and again, this is a launch for that recruitment effort, when we ask those students, where are you headed, many of them are going to say, to BCC. So thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Francis. It just wouldn't have happened without her energetic and enthusiastic support, and I'm very grateful to her. She saw instantly as soon as we first talked about this project, the possibilities of a project, she saw instantly the value for the city, for the New Bedford Public Schools, and for the region, and for our students, most important. They become students again. We get them back into the academic mix, if you will, and light pathways for them to go anywhere. And very appreciative of Superintendent Francis's support. And now there are a number of details about the project that you might want to know about, and I want to introduce Dean Teresa Romanovich, Dean of the New Bedford campus, who has again taken the leadership in this pioneering project. Dean Romanovich.
Thanks. Well, I first have to say it's really a pleasure to be part of an amazing team like this, to hold you up as you're building something as creative as this, and to make sure that as we build it, it's a solid structure and that it has the support of everyone, and that not only are they supporting it, but they're bringing their own vision to it. So when we send things around, they're tweaking it and making it even better. So I'm thrilled to be with all of you today and to have this kind of support. But I'm also thrilled with the BCC internal team. This partnership would never have happened if it weren't for the academic area, as well as the enrollment service area, as well as the communication area, and in particular my staff, who've just been absolutely amazing the last few weeks trying to dot all the dots. And as President Sprague said, we're the detail people, so we're making sure that all of this vision and all of this expertise and support is really going to happen. So I really want to give my team thank you. So in terms of what we're doing, this is to launch our very, very creative first step. And while Middle College has been a part of Bristol Community College for a very, very long time, I mean, dual enrollment as part of that, this project is really bringing that up a little notch and really providing one-on-one mentoring and support services for the individuals who will now be in this dual enroll model. So dual enrollment has been part of the statewide vision as well as Bristol Community Colleges. We've had the support of the academic area as well as enrollment services, and now we are just pulling all of that together in a very synchronized model so that these students can have a comprehensive academic program as well as support services. So we're inviting all of you who are here who have individuals that you think can benefit from this, as well as those who are watching who are between the ages of 16 and 21 and are not attending high school right now and are interested in receiving a high school diploma and college credits at the same time. We're holding an information session this Thursday September 22nd, right here in this room, from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. We will have academic advisors available who will meet one-on-one with all of the individuals who are interested and provide an application to them, as well as gathering information on what services they might need in addition to academic services. They might have a disability that they'd like some support with. English may not be their first language. There will be specialists who have ESL backgrounds who will be here as well. There will be developmental education staff, so we will have people from the faculty, from the administration, and we will also have a team from New Bedford High School who will be here to support any questions that might arise in terms of the details. What we're doing that evening is we're doing a massive recruitment. So we want to make sure by the end of that day that I walk away with a full class, so anyone who can help me do that would be greatly appreciated. And we want to assure parents who are interested to come along with their children who might want to hear more information. And I know there are a lot of community-based agencies here and probably listening that might want to also come, because, as the superintendent said, we're doing one cohort now, but we'll be building other cohorts. So we want to make sure that as much information can be shared as possible. We are treating these students as Bristol Community College's students. They will receive the same rigor. They will have the same faculty. They will be held to the same standards that all of our BCC students are held to. And what we're offering, which is unique, is we're offering a really solid wraparound support to make sure that they are successful. The mentoring focus that we're doing is to ensure that everyone who comes has a go-to person so that they can talk to them about any of their academic issues, or if they're having problems with transportation, they know right away before they leave. What we've all experienced in the past is they start coming to school and something gets in their way and they're not able to do that. So we want to make sure that we have the support services. We want to make sure that we have any accommodations there available for them to do. We will be registering students who come and test and are accepted into the pilot model, and we'll be registering them, and they'll be starting classes October 3rd. So this is a fast turnaround, so anyone who is interested, this is going to be a really good information session. There'll be people who will be just talking about the project, a lot of the information that we're sharing tonight, when is it starting, how many people are we looking at, what are the expectations, and then there'll be actually one-on-one people who can sit down and talk to you and say, this is really what the schedule looks like. We are starting out with an evening pilot that will be meeting 4 nights a week and be taking all of the classes that they will be taking have already been approved by the superintendent and her staff to back transfer, so they will also be getting their high school credits as well. In addition to that, those people who need books will also be provided with all of the books. So we've been really lucky that we've had a private partner to step up to the plate, because while this has been a vision and we've sat around and talked about it for a very long time, we haven't had the resources to really jumpstart it. So I also personally want to thank Jerry, who has been a really wonderful colleague and actually a good friend over the years to make all of these projects really happen. It wouldn't have happened without that. So we have BCC leadership, from the president to the vice presidents, Steve Ozog, who's been my co-partner, co-pilot in this adventure, and Sarah Garrett, who's the vice president of academic affairs, who's been instrumental, Vice President Sally Cameron, who's here guiding us today. So we have a lot of support about this, so we just have to make it happen now, and it's a quick turnaround, so please help us fill those classes and bring the right people to the table. Thank you, and I'm really excited that you're all here.
Well, thank you, Dean Romanovich. You know, it was quite an exciting school committee event when the school committee voted unanimously to support this project at the suggestion and recommendation of Dr. Francis. And we took her a little bit out of turn, you heard, because she had to leave Marlene Pollock and the other members of the school committee. And I'd like to invite Dr. Fletcher and Dr. Finnerty to come up and say a few words about the project. Thank you. Dr. Fletcher.
Thank you, Dr. Sprague. each person on the podium and each person in this room, you're all a godsend to the children, the students who will be attending this program. And I'm usually one of the last people to speak at these affairs, so that I like to speak on behalf of the students. We have many students who have many challenges, but they are the greatest young people in the world. Not one of us here who had the challenges of some of these students could get to work or could do what we have to do on a daily basis for what they have to contend with at their early age. And you know how it is to be a teenager. You know, you always think it's the end of the world. You always think people don't like you. And so for them to get to school sometimes is a Herculean task. And so for all of you here, from Dean Romanowitz to Jerry Kavanaugh to Dr. Sprague. Dr. Sprague, by the way, I read I love to read newspapers. So one of the papers I read is the Fall River Herald, as well as the Standard and the Globe and the New York Times and other papers. And I was just reading yesterday about the expansion of Bristol Community College. It is absolutely amazing. And I know that Senator Menard has had a lot to do with that as well. And so on behalf of the students, when you meet our students, our former students or students, you know, whatever their station is, you love them. Because when you go into the schools, and I'll be very personal, first of all, may I say that many of our students do extremely well. I mean, they go to Harvard, they go to Princeton, they're going to be doctors and lawyers. But for the students who struggle every single day to survive, give them a little love and give them a little attention, and believe me, you'll see how they shine. And before you know it, they will not only graduate from high school, but they will go on to some of the best colleges. Of course, first of all, Bristol Community College. And they will become productive members of our society. So, and in conclusion, we struggle. Believe me, the New Bedford School Committee gets a lot of criticism, but it's not from a lack of trying, because there's one thing that we do, and every single person on the school committee, under the leadership of the mayor, Mayor Lang, the one thing is we love our students. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart for every single thing every person here does for the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fletcher. And another member of the school committee from New Bedford, Dr. Larry Finnerty. You can remember what it is to be a teenager, right?
Yes. Well, John said he's usually last, but I'm last today. I want to thank Dr. Sprague and Teresa and Jerry and everyone back here, the superintendent, the mayor, and fellow colleagues of the school committee for coming together in this collaboration. Jerry Kavanaugh, you see him around the community. He's always here when there's help that's needed. Really, to the point, get the work done, what needs to be done, and lacking taking the credit. I serve with him on the Community Health Center because he and I both recognize that there's a tremendous need in this community for underserved people. This particular institution, Bristol Community College, has never lost sight of the middle name, community. That's extremely important because we have too many silos in education. What we're hearing, and we'll hear MCAS results later today, and they'll analyze it up, down, in, and out so that everybody will walk away with a headache and won't understand it. The issue is that the kids aren't doing as well as we would like them to do. But when we say that someone can't get a high school diploma, that shouldn't be a period, that should be a comma. What are we going to do with them? How are we going to help them? Zero tolerance. Zero tolerance for what? For violence? Absolutely. But zero tolerance that you didn't pass an MCAS test, and that's a period. This is a second chance for many students. It's Bristol Community College. That's why it's extremely important that we make sure this is successful. We have many kids who need this kind of help. And I think that the team that's behind us is going to make sure that that happens. But we have to remember 350 students every year who traditionally have not received a high school diploma. All those jobs, as we know, they're gone. They need a second and a third and a fourth chance. Who wants to be the person who puts a period and says, that's your last chance, that's it? Where does the person go? Bristol Community College is a place that always was there to help, always. This particular college helped my family. 45 years ago, out of high school, losing a father, this community college was there for me, and I'll always be here for Bristol Community College.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Finney, for that wonderful testament. When it's fashionable today in this day and age to talk about student engagement and for student success. And this pilot project foreshadows a number of other opportunities that we'll have to engage students or former students who will become new students in the educational process. You know, as Dr. Finnerty and others have mentioned, you need a higher education certificate and credential in this day and age. It's such a technological global economy that we live in. The days of having a high school degree and getting a good job and a good wage are, I'm sorry to say, kind of over. And you must move on to at least an associate's, if not beyond that. And Dr. Francis and myself are working valiantly, if you will, to try to get this partnership to demonstrate to the rest of the state and the rest of the country what great things can happen with these collaborations. And we're opening pathways to opportunity and success and access and affordability in higher education, but also, as Dr. Francis leaves open those pathways so that we can have this partnership, do away with these silos between pre-K and 12 and between higher education in general and community colleges in particular. That's our job, and that's why we're so excited about this this project and how wonderful it's going to be, and we look forward to it spreading and recovering. I know Dr. Francis will not be happy until all the dropouts have been recovered, and any dropout, anyone thinking of dropping out will be prevented from doing so because they will be inspired and motivated by what they see in projects like this. So I'm very happy. I want to end the press conference before Mayor Lang gets going on MCAS again. We want to be careful with him. But thank you very much for coming. This is a community effort, and we're very happy about you attending.
Questions?
Okay. Yeah.
If any of the members of the media wish to.
Yes, of course.
Have questions, feel free.
How do you plan on recruiting students? Is this informational session on Thursday? I mean, is that going to be the main recruitment tool, or?
I think that Dr. Francis and the public school systems are able. Public school system is able to identify dropouts, students who have dropped out. We can locate them, and we've invited them. Dean Romanovich can give more details if needed, but I think that's the primary. They're already a kind of a target population that we'll be bringing in.
How does this differ from other dropout programs in the region?
I think one of the key elements is that this.
Yeah, come on.
I think one of the key elements with this is that it actually offers dual credit. So it's a way to bring dropouts into a new environment, which is the college environment, and giving them the opportunity to feel success both by completing their high school diploma while simultaneously they're earning a college degree. That's pretty unique for that type of a dropout prevention model.
And is this pilot program, is it right now going to be a semester long, or what's the timeline like?
So the pilot project is a year-long pilot, and what we're trying to do is to give individuals about 13 credits each semester. Each unit of a high school is worth 3 college credits. So if they take, as an example, an English class here, and it's worth 3 academic credits at Bristol Community College, the superintendent takes that back as a high school unit. And so we're looking at that 16 to 21-year-old individual that needs probably, what, 15 units? It depends. Okay.
Yeah.
so that we can provide enough coursework through Bristol Community College that they will have the units that are necessary to go back and complete their high school degree.
And you're looking to expand this, hopefully, after this year?
Correct. So part of the pilot model is to upfront and sort of ignite the program, and then we have a partnership, a fiscal partnership that's being developed with the New Bedford Public School Department so that the recovery funds that are coming back will then support this over time, so that there's a sustainable resource available to do that.
How much is this going to cost?
Free. Say it again,
Well, I mean,
free.
It's free to the students, but how much is it going to cost to put on? You know what I mean? Well, obviously
So,
somebody's
sure.
funding it.
So the private partners have contributed, it'll end up being over the 2 years, probably $400,000 to $500,000 total between the two private investors to jumpstart the program, and then over time it'll be supported with, as the superintendent said, race to the top. Go ahead.
Finish it. I do want to talk about that for one.
Okay, and so we're looking at a very creative finance, but Mayor Lang, you want to add something to that?
Are there any other questions?
What kind of criteria are you basing these 22 students on? Like, what kind of interview questions are you going to be
So what we're doing is a college placement test so that we will know exactly where they are performing in English, reading, and mathematics. And we're giving them an interview opportunity where they can tell us where they have, where they've performed in high school, where they've last landed, and we're working with the New Bedford High School to also get their transcripts. So then once we have individuals that are ready for the academic coursework that we have available this semester, those will be the people that will be selected. We're also looking, as the mayor stated earlier, to look at a broader population for the January cohort. So.
And this will start by the end of this month, hopefully? Or
Classes will start October 3rd.
October 3rd?
Yep. So orientation, registration, intake will happen this Thursday. We'll do selection Friday and Monday. Students will be notified, and they will hopefully be able to start the following week.
And in terms of just from the administrative point of view, somebody mentioned that the school committee signed off on this. Did any other boards have to sign off on this for this to become reality?
The Board of Trustees from
BCC
Bristol Community
Board of
College.
Trustees.
And how many students drop out of the New Bedford school system on average on an annual basis? The number 350 was floated out there. Is that
It's in
the
that
city?
range.
Is that an average?
You could consider it in that range. I mean, overall, the dropout rate is, per the state, is 8.1%. But if you're translating it into numbers, it's in that range.
It's about
It could be considered in that range.
If I could just add before the mayor, the dual enrollment program has existed at Bristol Community College. It started out as a program, dual enrollment, if you don't know, means that one course carries dual credit, if you will, for high school graduation as well as college credit at BCC. It started out as a limited experiment with honor students, excellent students. And this is a spreading, if you will, of the dual enrollment concept. We've had pilots in the past that have been very successful with students who are not doing well at all in the high schools, and they need a little bit of motivation. That's what I meant by student engagement, if you will. Now, Superintendent Francis has seen, and we've talked about, the idea of motivating these students that are coming back in this program, but also we're going to be talking about collaborative ways to provide dual enrollment for students in the high school, but in danger of dropping out, so that we can kind of motivate them, and that's the dropout prevention piece as well as the dropout recovery piece that this project is doing. So I look forward to some productive conversations with Superintendent Francis and the staff at New Bedford Public Schools as well as at Bristol Community College. And now I'd like to invite Mayor Lang.
Just a couple of things that were brought up that I think are very important from a public policy standpoint. First, this question on money. We're very fortunate that we have two very enthusiastic sponsors. in the education partnership led by Jerry Kavanaugh and in this Fernandez Memorial Fund that's administered by the Rockefeller Foundation. And that is, we're grateful that we're getting, in essence, the initial money, the seed money to get this going. But this is a public obligation. And the idea that we would have to rely on private partnerships to sustain this is something that is outrageous. And I have made that very, very clear to the Secretary as well as the Commissioner of Education. The dropout problem is not New Bedford's problem. It's a state problem and a national problem, and it needs to be resolved through the public school system, which means funding for the public school system. Now, when I first became mayor, there was remediation money for MCAS, and what Dr. Finnerty said is as profound as anything that has been said here today. The Department of Education has taken away all remediation money for MCAS prep, which is disgraceful in its own right that I even talk about MCAS prep. The idea that you go to school for 13 years and then they're going to prep you to take a finishing exam is outrageous, makes no sense whatsoever. Educationally doesn't make sense. People are moving away from standardized testing. But they had a system in place that provided remediation for MCAS prep. Well, they took that away and they've replaced it with nothing. And what they have now is 30,000 young people in our state over the past 8 years now who have not passed either all or some parts of the MCAS, but passed all their other high school graduation requirements who don't have a high school degree. The high school degree that they are entitled to is one that the kids at Stang or Tabor or Milton Academy or Bishop Feehan, whatever, receive each spring. Our public school students who do the same exact thing don't receive a high school diploma. They passed all their required courses, they've met their attendance requirements, and they are going to schools that have approved curriculum by DESE, licensed teachers by DESE, and they don't get a high school diploma because they haven't passed a test. What this does is put the state in a very, very difficult situation because there is currently a $9 billion unfunded liability for these individuals who've been kept out of society because they didn't pass a test that parochial and private school kids don't have to take. The idea that somehow we will skimp and try and figure out where we get the money is not something that's acceptable to any of us. They put the MCAS system in place. We expect funding to make sure that there is not a period after their name, that it's just a different phase and a different requirement in the educational process for a public school student, that we make sure that they get all the opportunities to pass this test. Perfect example of how MCAS works is last year, the science exam was given twice. It was given, and then there was a retake. 50% of the kids who failed the first science MCAS test passed it on the retake. This year, they did not give a retake in science. When I asked the commissioner, why didn't you give a retake in science, he said, I do not know. The answer to that is just based on their first go-round with science, about half the kids on the second go-round will pass it. Those kids now don't have a high school diploma. They now cost all of us money in the long term to make sure that we can support them and have them have some sort of a quality of life walking around with dropout status, even though they met all the requirements that every other kid who doesn't go to a public school met to get their high school diploma. And then the last thing is, they didn't drop out in 10th grade. They didn't say to us, take care, I'm on my own, I'll do it my way. They stayed in school 13 years. That was the kid that you sent down a message to the principal's office with. That was the kid that you said, little Billy, please watch the class while I bring little Susie down to the nurse's office. That was the kid that we cheered on the fields, that entertained us on the auditoriums, who doesn't have a diploma now, who all of us probably would end up working for one day if they had a high school diploma, which they have earned. 30,000 people need to be repatriated into Massachusetts society by being given a high school diploma that they already earned. Now, the kids who pass MCAS, give them the MCAS diploma. But the idea that we are going to have to ask Jerry and the Rockefeller Foundation to make up this mistake, to make up this unintended consequence under so-called education reform is outrageous. And that's what Dr. Finnerty was talking about.
So do you anticipate that the state will supply the funding to support
I have no doubt the state will supply the support, because the fact is, to bring down that unfunded liability, you have to start paying to make sure that these people get the educational attainment that they deserve so they can be contributing members of society. Otherwise, every year you're going to have between 4 and 6% of our high school population not pass the MCAS and go on the dole of $300,000 in an unfunded actuarial liability table for educational, in essence, educational damage. So I don't have any doubt that once this program gets going, the state's going to fund it, and they will enthusiastically fund it, and they will be down here cheering it. Because to do less means that everyone gets a period after their name when they're 17 or 18 or 16 years old. That is an outrage, and society won't function. So I applaud the fact that we've got some visionaries. You know, when we started explaining this to Jerry, I saw Jerry's eyes light up. I've watched Jerry now for 6 years. You know, and I have just a tremendous amount of respect for people who are willing to get up there and roll their sleeves up and do something, regardless of whether or not they're given accolades, credit, whatever, but do it for the right reason. Jerry's one of these people. And I watched Jerry's eyes light up when we were talking about the idea that we're leaving, No Child Left Behind is leaving so many children behind that it's become a real concern for our viability. And he understands what it means now to get these people back. The other thing is, there was a young lady here from the Rockefeller Foundation.
Donzi Barceloni.
Donzi Barcelini had the same look that Jerry did, which was, we will do everything we can to get this going to show the government that this will be a successful program. The only other thing I want to say is there's no other partner that can do this other than BCC. They understand the nuances of an urban population. They understand what it takes to educate young people, and they also have something that we don't have, which is a college campus flavor, which means that kids will leave the high school, come here, and they will be inspired about the height that they can achieve. And that's the key. And no one did mention one last thing I want to say. The virtual high school. The virtual high school is going to be a real key to this. And it will allow this program to evolve very, very quickly and meet just about every need. Because if you can't go and attend a certain course at a certain night, you may be able to fill that one in, supplement it with a virtual high school, which means all of a sudden now you're actually going to be able to keep moving forward, seeing progress all the time. No sliding back, no upsets. If you're coming up the side of the hill and we got a problem, you won't slide back. You will pin yourself to the side, and then we'll keep moving forward again. And that's something that obviously we, you know, if you go with the pure DESE high school model, it is designed for the slide back down the hill. It is pushing a pea up the hill with your nose when you're trying to get by MCAS or trying to get back into the system after you dropped out. This will give these kids the right to soar, and that's what we're trying to do here. Because one day, you all know the kids behind you, you sat there, you walked out of class, you said, gee, I don't know if if Billy or Susie or Pam or whatever really got it today. Those kids all, you pick up the paper and you realize they're the great leaders of the Western world, right? And us who thought that we were the geniuses, we find out that the kids who, you know, were graduated behind us have absolutely excelled. You don't make a man or a woman when you're 17 or 18 years old. It takes a long time for someone to achieve the tremendous you know, role in society that they'll all have. So that's what this is all about. I don't want to say it again, but I love what Larry said, because that was the most absolute, complete statement. Are we putting a period after kids' names? Are we, first of all, stamping their head with a number and putting a period after their name? And that's what we are going to show you do not do. So that's why I love this program. And I feel very good about this program starting, and I trust that this will be a program that goes on for as long as we need it, which means for decades. So I just wanted to say, though, that I don't want Jerry to fund this program, and I don't want Donzi to fund the program. The state's got to fund this program.
Wow, wasn't that wonderful? I put it the best way possible. We have, I want to thank the mayor, as always, for his leadership. You know, we're all about access and opportunity, and the world of education offers a pathway to a successful career. And that's what Dr. Francis and I have joining forces now, as we always have in the past, about providing that access. The success of this program, will mean our success. And the success of the students is our joint success. And also the community members here, whether from the Sheriff's Office or the Workforce Investment Board or the Career Center, anyone that, I think the presence here recognizes the importance for our community of this project and of education in general. And I want to thank, once again, Dr. Fletcher and Dr. Finnerty and Marlene Pollock from the school committee, Superintendent Mary Louise Francis, as always, Jerry Kavanaugh, and Dean Terry Romanovich. Those are just some of the faces involved in that you see, but there are many other people involved in making this quite a success. I thank you very much for coming. As always, we'll be available for your questions later and as you wish. Thank you very much, and I thank the people for participating. Thank you. Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
Thanks.